Hip hinge, knee hinge. Then with each hand on each knee, start with a soft rocking motion. Push the knees up to point to the sky, then pull them back towards you. Just keep that flowing back and forth, getting an arch and flattening in the low back. We want the low back to arch and flatten as you send those knees back and forth. So this is to improve circulation into the discs and low back. We're nourishing that low back, getting it ready for movement. Bring it to a pause with the knees up at the top, balanced over the hips. And each knee is going to draw its own circle. So each hand guides each knee into a circle around each side. Knees go around wide to the sides, back to the body, up the midline. Try to push into the corners of your range of motion, that circumduction or circular range of motion at the ball and socket joint of the hip. Doesn't often get this movement. We have to nourish that range of motion. Go ahead and switch directions if you haven't already, from up at the top, down the midline, around wide to the sides. And then pause at the top. With both knees together, you're going to guide them around into one big circle. So bring both knees around to one side of the body, back towards the body, around to the other side and up to the top. Again, use your hands to help support guiding the motion. Now we're getting whole low back and hip soft tissue movement. Be sure to switch directions if you haven't already. To a pause. Touch the feet down to lift and shift. Center your hips parallel to the shoulders. Lengthen the spine. Long back of the neck. Bring the left knee up to the body. Deep squeeze that knee and slide the right leg long down to the mat. Reach long through the right heel. Lock out your right knee as you deep squeeze the left leg to the body. And switch. Bring the right knee up to the chest, deep squeeze that right knee to the torso as you reach long through the left leg, lock out your left knee, reach long through the left heel. We're going to start to move with the breath. Slow and smooth on the inhale, transition. On the exhale, deep squeeze one and lengthen the other. Use that long exhale to activate the contraction. Last one on each side. Finish on your right knee up or your second side. And then both knees up to the chest. Hands on either side of the thighs. Lift your legs straight up to the sky and flex and point at the feet and ankles. Support your thighs here if you need it. You might walk out the legs a few times too. Bend one knee and then straighten the other. Make some circles with the feet and ankles. Go both directions. And then bring a bend back into those knees. Those legs come back to the body. Arms at your side. So you have options for the arms on this one. Some people like to put their hands underneath their butt. I find that awkward. I've never found that helpful, but some people really like it. And our bodies are all shaped different ways, so you can try it with the hands underneath the butt. Another option is to place your hands just at your sides or wide to 45 degrees, can give you a little more support. If you find that during the movement, your head and neck are arching and you're jutting your chins up towards the sky, if you have that experience, place your hands underneath your head or give yourself a little cushion underneath your head to reduce that angle and stress on the neck. We want to avoid compensation here. So separate the legs so that there's parallel space between your thighs. Flex at the feet and ankles so your toes are pointing up towards your nose, and you want your heels close to your butt here. You want to drop into your knee flexion. Now you're going to straighten out the left leg to parallel the mat. On your exhale, coordinate that movement to come up with the breath. That leg stays straight and comes up with the exhale. Bring a bend back into the knee. The right leg lengthens to parallel the mat. Exhale, bring it up towards the sky. Long, straight leg reaches tall and high. Keep it flowing like a slow motion reverse bicycle. Try to coordinate it with the breath and core activation. Two more on each side. And back. Pause, relax the feet and ankles, give those knees a squeeze. Good job, legs. Good job. That was so fun. We should do it again on both sides. Flex at the ankles so that your toes point up towards you. And you can have your hands however you would like in any of those options. Again, watch out for the jutting chin because we're going to get more core challenge with this next movement. So inhale to prepare, and then on your exhale, lengthen both legs to parallel the mat. Bring them up towards the sky. Try to keep those legs straight until they get to the top. Good. Keep flowing with the breath. And watch your legs. Notice if they're veering around. Like, are your feet coming towards the midline? Can you keep that parallel space between your legs? What muscles do you activate to maintain that parallel space? To keep each leg in its lane. Where's ergonomic neutral? Foot in line with the knee, in line with the hip. What does that feel like? Just 100 more, you're almost done. I haven't forgotten about you. Just kidding. Last 3. Bring those knees to the chest and give them a squeeze. Good job. Let the feet float down to the mat, coming to standing so that your knees are bent, pointing to the sky. Now, inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you're going to lift your hips just halfway. Just halfway. And as you come into this position, take a moment to lift your heart, wiggle your shoulders so that you can squeeze your shoulder blades underneath you to give you a little bit more of a foundation of support here. So you feel that shoulder blades connecting and activating to push into the mat. Hips are still about halfway. Now we're going to press one side at a time. So on the exhale, you're going to activate the left glute, left side of the core. And push into that side. It's going to be faster, rapid little catch breaths, alternating between sides. So let's start all together. Take a breath in with the hips hanging at halfway. On the exhale, left side press. And right side press. keep it flowing. Remember, it's core and glute. One more on each side. And pause, let the hips hang at halfway. Don't come down yet. We're gonna make some circles. So imagine that your hips are like a drawing tool and you're gonna draw one big circle. You're gonna swing them around to one side and then bring them around to the top and back to halfway. Okay? So we're gonna go to the right first. Take a breath in and prepare. On your exhale, bring those hips around to the right, up to the top, and around back to the halfway. Going to 8, keep going. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, last one. And back to the halfway. Let's switch directions. Going to the left side, take a breath in and prepare. On your exhale. 1, 2, 3, halfway. 4, 3, 2, last one. Hang at halfway. Remember to breathe and relax your face. We're still in bridge pose. We're still here. Now, imagine that there are knobs on the sides of your hips and your rib cage. And as you exhale each time, you're gonna turn those knobs back towards you. The ones on the rib cage are gonna go down towards the belly button. So the sum of the movement is drawing your pubic bone up towards your belly button, your low ribs down towards your belly button, so you're scrunching and crunching your belly and lengthening your low back. As you do this, you're gonna notice that you're crunching into it. You wanna squeeze your glutes and press into your feet so that you activate into the bridge. So we're starting at halfway, take a breath. And on the exhale, it's crunching into the bridge. Good, 1, 2, keep going. Last one. Pause and hold it, hold it, hold it. Walk your feet a little bit closer to each other. Hips are hanging at halfway. Now on your exhale, you're gonna activate that crunch and lift one leg. Keep the knee bent like you're marching. Bring that leg back. Other leg. Keep going. Last 2 on each side. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Separate your shoulder blades, lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Relax the back body, lengthen the spine. Bring those knees up to the chest, give them a squeeze. Good job, legs. Good job, body. Let those knees fall wide to the sides, arms to the inner thighs. Lift up the low legs and hang on wherever you can for happy baby pose. Give a little counter stretch here. Relax into it. Breathe deep. All the way down into the pelvic bowl. Can you invite that inhale to expand into the lowest part of the belly, into the root of the pelvis. Slide your hands around to the outside of the legs, straighten out the legs into a big wide V, flex and point the feet and ankles a few times. Make some circles. And then relax and bend into the knees, heels fall towards the glutes, bring the knees towards each other, give them a squeeze to the chest. And then let your legs just hang over your body with your arms down at your sides. Now again, we have options for this next one. Same options for the hands. You can put them under the hips if you like that, at your sides, wide to 45. Or if you find during the movement that your chins are jutting up towards the sky, you can place your hands underneath your heads to reduce that compensation pattern. That jaw and neck will steal power from your core. So we want to neutralize it out and keep the activation where we want it. Now remember the knobs on the sides of your hips. They turn back towards you to activate the low deep core. So with this next movement, you want to think of pulling the hips off of the mat with the core, not pushing with the glutes, pulling with the core. So you're going to bring your pubic bone up towards your belly button. Now I want you to avoid kicking your legs. Don't kick your legs. Leave them out of it. They're just along for the ride, okay? So we want to activate the core and control it, right? You don't want to go swinging those knees into your beautiful face. Don't do that. Take a breath in, prepare. On your exhale, activate the low deep crunch and lift your hips. 1, 2, 10, 9, just seeing who's awake. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax, give those knees a squeeze. Roll over onto your side and face the front and push on up to seated. Lengthen the legs out to a V. First, we want to open up these hips with a little whole body mobility. So this first one is a flowing motion. We're going to move with the breath. On the inhale, bring your arms up towards the sky. First, I'm going to warm up this side. So let the right arm drop down in front. And the left arm is going to go up and over to the foot. Inhale, bring it back up. And up and over to the foot. One more like this. Now this next part is just adding a layer as you come up and over. Now you're going to turn your belly and face to the floor and swoosh it across to the other side. Bring it back the way you went into it. Move with the breath.
up at the top, bring both arms up, reach tall through the middle, and let the left arm drop down in front. Up and over 4 times, use the breath. And then add the layer if you want to, up and over and then across. And back. Going to 6 here. Last one. And bring it back up at the top. Both hands reach for the sky and then send them back behind you. Walk the hands back 1 time so that you're leaned back just a little bit, squeezing your shoulder blades together and hands enough distance so that you feel confident to bring some weight into them. Point your toes. Take a breath in to prepare. Dig your heels in. On your exhale, press into your heels, press into your hands, squeeze your glutes and lift your hips. Push your heart up between your shoulders and look to the sky. Slowly lower back down. With the exhale. Just going to 4 here. And lower, back, down, release your hands to your sides. Toes lightly pointing to the sky. Hands on either sides of the hips. Lift and shift your hips 1 time just to make sure that you're on the base of your pelvis. And we always almost want a little bit of anterior tilt. We want to dip into this pubic bone, tipping down towards the mat. Keep those toes lightly active. So if you notice your heels are sliding or your toes are starting to point, really try to keep your toes up towards the sky and dipping your belly towards your inner thighs and the floor. Bring your hands up together, interlace fingers, push up through the palms. And then we're going to place those palms on the top back corner of the head. Now you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together, send your elbows back behind you on your inhale. On your exhale, keep that open back, open heart. Dip into it. Variation on a good morning. Good morning, hips. Inhale, maybe you oscillate a little bit, come up. Exhale, lean into it. We're just breathing into that edge. Keep the back as straight as you can. If you're starting to round, you're losing it. Just stay with the edge where you can keep your hips open, keep your low back nice and arched just a little bit. Opening up the belly towards the inner thighs and floor. 2 more here. Activate the kneecaps. See if you can pull your kneecaps up towards your hips. They won't go there, but activate those quads and the tops of the thighs. See how activating supports you, opening. Isn't that interesting? And come all the way back up. Release the hands apart. Hands on either sides of your hips. Hug them in really close. Hug them in really close. It helps. Point your fingers forward if they were pointed back. Yeah. Now, we're going to lift one leg. You can feel it. We're going to lift one leg at a time. You ready? Take a breath in to prepare. Dig your right heel in. On your exhale, lift your left leg. Oh. It's hard. It's hard. You ready? Second side. Take a breath. On your exhale. Yes. We're going to lift pulse for 3. Ready? Take a breath in. On your exhale. 1, 2, 3. Second side, take a breath in. On your exhale. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it was harder on that side for me. Woo! Okay. I'm gonna do a little more activation. Turn your belly and heart towards that left leg. Walk your hands forward towards the end of the thigh, towards the knee. Take a breath in and prepare, point your toes to the sky. On the exhale, lift that leg and hold it for a breath. And put it back down. Walk your hands a little more forward. Take a breath in. On your exhale. Second side. Lift through the midline. Turn your belly and heart. Point your toes to the sky. Take a breath in. On your exhale, hold it for a breath. Ooh. I'm right here with you. It can be hard for all of us, and that's okay. We're still going to do it. Lean a little bit more forward into it. Hands on either side of the knee or calf. Toes pointing to the sky. On your exhale. Okay, no more. Bend at the knees. Bring those feet into the outsides of the hips. Let's do the opposite thing with those quads. Oh my goodness. So we want our body to activate in all different ranges of motion. It can't just be in one plane all the time, right? What do? All day long we sit in this direction. Sometimes we turn our head a little bit, and then we like type, and then we text, and then we walk, all in this direction. So we can move in different ways, right? It's good for us. Even if it's hard, it's okay. Hands on either sides of your hips. And hug your arms in close to your body, like we're trying to become compact. Think compact. Legs in towards the body, arms in towards the body, body in towards the thighs. Now lift your hips. Now as you lift your hips, bring your heart forward. Try to lean into your knees. Try to let your knees part and let your body settle between your thighs. Yeah, we just have to find that range of motion. The hardest part is finding it. Where and how can I open up into this position? Now that we're here, we're just gonna slide a little bit side to side. Yeah, it's okay, it's safe to be here. We wanna open up. This is a great way to open up the pelvic floor. Tight pelvic floors can inhibit hip and low back range of motion. So this is a great way to lean into it and open up. Swing a little bit side to side. Yeah, this can be really tough. So if you're struggling with this one, go, ooh, an edge. Hi, body. Had information to share with me. There's an area of opportunity here. Good. Now, this is the hard part. And I'm gonna invite you to be curious if you can explore this range of motion. Lift your heart, lean back into your hands a little bit. You can walk your hands back one time. Point your knee out towards one corner. Oh, some of us can get there. Some of us got closer than we thought we could. I saw that. And then try the other side. Good. So we're going wide to the corners first, wide to the corners. Yeah, it's a little bit of a quad stretch too. Oh, that feels nice after those quad activations, right? Active, dynamic, release. Now we're gonna go internal. You have to have your feet far enough apart to get there. Yeah, good. Some of us are willing to play this morning. Last one on each side. Okay. Now if you've been here the whole time, try lifting one hand. And then try lifting the other hand. Yeah, some of you know where we're going. All right. Now you're gonna meet me here if you have to. Meet me here if you have to. Lift up halfway, both hands. There we go. Yeah, I didn't get here overnight. I couldn't always do this. That's real. It takes practice. And you can't tell yourself that you can't because your body will believe you, right? Don't say you can't, just say I can't yet. Not today. I can do a little bit. Drop your right hand to the instep of the right foot, elbow to the inner thigh. Keep that hip and knee orientation open. As you open up your left hand and heart to the left. Think open knees, open inner hips. Come back to the midline. Left hand goes to the instep of the left foot. Left elbow to the left inner knee and thigh. Open up your right hand and heart to the right. Back to the midline. Keep the hips halfway, in line with the knees. Lift your head and heart, bring the hands into prayer position. Some poses need a prayer. That joke never gets old because it's still true. Sit your weight into your heels. Sit down into it a little bit more. Ooh, ah. Hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, launch up into the sky, reach high with the hands, squeeze your glutes, press forward through the hips. Let the hands go down. All right. I have, someone got me, every once in a while I have wonderful yogis that bring me cute presents, and someone brought me I don't know, it's 50 yoga poses or something. I have these little magnets on my fridge, and the other day I was playing with them, and I was like, what are all of these poses? And many of you remember we do star pose, and I was like, I thought I made that up, and I was like, no, it's a real pose. All right, so let's make a star pose with your legs wide like a V and your arms wide like a T. You gotta shine like a star, but in order to shine like a star, because it's Saturday, we gotta have some fun with it. You gotta shake it out, shake it out. Yeah. And we gotta get jiggly with it. Feel your muscles kind of swinging on the bones. Swing your hips. Let your leg muscles shake around. It helps if you make noise too. Yeah, it feels even better. Good. And you're gonna bring your arms up, take a big breath in. And we're gonna do a floppy, melodramatic forward fold. Bend at the knees and go, yeah, shake it out to the bottom, maybe you sway a little bit. Keep your eyes open to support your head beat below the heart. We're gonna do that one more time. Bend at the knees, roll up, big breath in, arms go up at the top of the breath. And on your exhale, let it all go. Shake it out a little bit at the bottom. Eyes open, sway again. Bend at the knees and roll back up. Big breath in as you come up. Now, we're going to find another way to come down to the mat. With your feet together. Feet touching, knees touching. Arms straight forward. Give yourself 2 thumbs up because you're already awesome. Because you came here on Saturday morning and we're doing things. And that's half the battle. Just getting here and doing things. Woo! Battle with yourself. Internal struggle. At least for me, that's my battle. Love is a battle. Okay. Knees together. Squeeze your knees. Squeeze your ankles. And as you break at the knees, break at the hips. So you're going to sit down into your hips. Drive the knees forward. Sit back into your hips as you drive the knees forward. Keep your head up. Keep your heart up. Come straight down. Straight down. Straight down. Get as low as you can. And then come back up. Press into the feet. All the way, all the way, all the way. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Relax your arms out. One more time. 2 thumbs up. Squeeze your knees, squeeze your ankles. Drive your weight into your heels as if the chair is a little farther back behind you. Where did that chair go? Who keeps sneaking it away from me? Keep driving your hips back as you drive your knees forward. You have to trust them both, that you can sit down into it. Drive those knees forward, send those hips back and down, back and down. Come all the way back. I was debating bringing us to the floor there, but I want to do one more here. So take a step over to one side of the mat, whip the mat out in front of you. Inhale the arms up overhead and down in a prayer position. Inhale them back up. Out to a T, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Bend at the knees. Bring your hands down to the mat, walk them forward until you come to a high plank. Find your best form here, widespread fingers, index fingers point forward. Weight of your heart over your knuckles. Slightly bent elbows, slightly bent knees. Squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes. Draw your core up and in. Then lower halfway. Bring your elbows to the rib cage. Now drop your hips, squeeze your glutes into it, lift your head and heart. Soft bent elbows help draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Think about that space between your ears and shoulders, the length of your neck. Use those arms, soft bent elbows, push into the hands to draw the shoulders down. Send the hips up into the air, down dog. In the down dog, walk out the backs of the legs a couple times, but think about your torso. You want the length of your torso from front to back. Make sure you're not dropped into that arched back and you're not overly rounded. Think about long line from tail to crown. Hug those shoulder blades up the back body. Squeeze your biceps towards your ears. Yes. Bring the legs to a pause, no more movement here. Now we're gonna add a wave. So you're gonna push off of the toes, let that roundness move through the legs, move through the back body. You're rounding through the spine as you come back to the high plank. Find your high plank. Articulate that best form here. Can you find it? Soft bent elbows, soft bent knees, squeeze into it. Then lower halfway. Squeeze the glutes into lowering the hips, lift the head and heart. Bend those elbows, activate the arms. Draw those shoulders down and away from the ears. Hips up into the air, down dog. Take a moment in down dog. Find your best form. Think about the length of your torso. Think about lifting the bottom crease of your buttocks towards the ceiling. How do you activate that hip tilt, the pelvic tilt? To find your form in the legs and the upper body. Roll like a wave. Come back to the high plank. This time we're stopping at the high plank. Bring it back to the high plank. And pause. Find your best form here. Belly up and in. You don't want a round spine. You don't want your spine sagging. Think about the length from tail to crown. Maintain that long line from heels to head. We're going to lower down to the count of 8. Nice and slow. Elbows come into the sides of the ribs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the belly down. Relax your arm. Take gentle care in turning over onto your back body. Walk the feet towards the body, draw bent knees up to the chest, give them a squeeze. Push the knees up to point to the sky, and then pull them back towards you just a few times. And then each knee draws its own circle. Take notice of any differences between how it feels now versus how it felt at the beginning. Be sure to switch directions of those circles. pause, squeeze those knees, and let the limbs float down into any position that feels good right here, right now. Allow the eyes to soften and rest in their orbits. Facial features let go of any expression. And the jaw goes slack back by the ears. Notice the quality of energy, the tone, the body, the mind, and the breath. How do you feel in comparison to when you got here? What is the energetic signature of this practice?